Hello, I am Bethany Wernches, real estate agent with Addison Jones, and you are watching Tuesday Talks with Bethany, where I answer real estate FAQs. Today, I am going to be covering the topic transaction timeline. Now, this is more for buyers, but sellers, maybe if you haven't gone through the process in a while and you're going to be selling your house and you're trying to remember how it all goes in the order, this can be for you as well. But overall, more so for buyers. So, transaction timeline. So first of all, buyers, it's important to have your pre-approval or proof of funds ready to go because you are going to need that to write an offer to prove to the seller that you are capable of purchasing their home. Now, it's important to have this before you even go out on showings because sellers take the time to get their home ready for you to come through. And say you want to buy a $300,000 house, but you haven't talked to the bank yet, and really you're only going to get pre-approved for $220,000. Now you wasted that seller's time, you wasted your own time, you also wasted your agent's time as well. So it's just respectful to the sellers and your agent to make sure that you get pre-approved first or have your proof of funds so you are the most efficient with everybody's time. So once you have that, you go on your showings, you find your house, you write your offer, you get it accepted. What is the first thing you are going to do in the transaction timeline? Well, you are going to deliver your earnest money. Now, earnest money is normally delivered within 3 to 10 days, just depending on your situation and how fast you can get it there. Earnest money can be dropped off often at a listing office, or it can be mailed. So again, just depends on your situation. And then after you do earnest money, there are 7-day contingencies in an offer. And if you have marked them, then you'll want to get on them. So a 7-day contingency, for example, is checking into the floodplain to see if you are going to need flood insurance and that it's in the 100-year floodplain. It's also checking into insurability to make sure that your insurance company will insure the home. Or the non-conforming contingency where you want to check to see if the property is not conforming, or if you need to check in with the city or the town to make sure that you can do the addition that you're planning or building the extra garage or whatever, so that you need to check in with the village. So after the 7-day contingencies are done, and there's a few more, but that's just some examples, then you want to do your home inspection. So a home inspection contingency and an offer is typically 12 to 20 days, but you want to get it done within that first week. So why is there 12 to 20 days in the offer if you get it done by day 7? Well, once you have a home inspection, if anything is flagged and you need any follow-up inspections, say for example, the electrical gets called out and you need to bring an electrician in, this also needs to occur before the deadline, and any negotiations need to occur before the deadline as well. So it's where inspection, follow-up inspections, negotiations, all by that deadline of 12 days, 15 days, 20 days, whatever you put in the offer. It's also important to chat with your agent and understand how far out home inspectors are booked and how busy they are, because, when you do 12 days, that may not be enough time depending on how busy the home inspectors are. So it's making sure you find that out. Now, if you are buying a country property, if your home inspection goes well, you get through it, you're ready to move on, that's when you'll dive into your well and septic, and then do those tests and make sure everything is good there. After that, the appraisal will occur. Now, the appraisal varies depending on your lender, depending on how busy appraisers are. So This can take 2 weeks for an appraiser to get out there. It could take 5 weeks for an appraiser to get out there. So this is a question that I like you to ask your lender, so you know how far out their appraisers are booked. And once an appraisal does occur, then it's normally about another week until the appraiser gets the report back to the lender. So 2 to 5 weeks is a pretty big range, and that's why it's important to have that chat with your lender. The title commitment is due in a residential transaction 5 business days before closing. Now, it really can come anytime sooner than that, but that's just when that is due. And then last of all, as a buyer, the last thing you are going to be delivering to the seller is your loan commitment if you are a finance transaction. This is the bank's promise to lend to you, and the bank will come through and lend to you as long as you don't do anything not smart. So next week, I'm going to dive deeper into this. I am going to talk about what not to do when buying a home so you do not kill your loan and break the deal way at the end. You do not want that to happen. So we'll go over that more next week. But again, this loan commitment is delivered normally within a week of close. It could be a week before, it could be 2 days before. Sometimes it even happens, at the day of. So it just depends on your situation and how you write your offer. But that's a typical time when it's delivered. So overall, transactions that are financed normally range from 35 to 60 days, with 45 days being average. If you are a cash offer, 2 to 3 weeks, but I've seen them close in as little as a week. So it just depends on different factors. Again, this is just typical, but every situation is unique and different and may vary a little bit, but it's still giving you a better idea of the order in which things normally occur. So I'm just going to give you a quick recap again of how that is. So first of all, buyer, have your pre-approval or proof of funds ready to go. Then once you have this accepted offer, the first thing you're going to be doing is turning in your earnest money. After that, if there's any quick 7-day contingencies like floodplain or insurability, and then after that, the home inspection will occur, and then you'll have time for any follow-up inspections and negotiations in that 12 to 20 day period or so. The appraisal really can range from 2 weeks to 5 weeks, depending on your situation. So it's important to talk with your lender about that one. Title commitment is due 5 business days before close, but often will come to you sooner than that. And then a loan commitment, you'll be delivering normally within a week before closing. It can be 2 days before closing, 7 days before closing, but somewhere in that time frame normally. And then typical transaction is in the 35 to 60 days, 45 on average. And if you're a cash closing, you might be able to just do it in a couple weeks. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this is helpful to you. And join me next week, buyers, to understand what not to do when buying a home, so you do not kill your deal right before you are supposed to close and you can't get your house. So I'll see you then.